Alright guys, welcome back to another trading video. This one's just going to be a trade recap. I don't feel like editing the live day trading session, and I just feel like I can get a bit more in depth with a trade recap instead. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. I took one trade today on ES, made $690 across two accounts, so 345 on both. One was the 100K take profit trader account, and one was the other 50K take profit trader account. So I'll go ahead and show you guys everything. I'll show you guys the execution, so you know I'm not lying, and then yeah, so I'll cover my analysis first real quick. Alright guys, so basically going into today, we're starting on the daily time frame, which is where I always start. Basically going into the day, I didn't really have a clear narrative. I don't know if you guys traded, I don't know if you guys had a clear narrative on where you thought the market would go today. But I personally didn't. Only reason, I mean, look at the most recent price action, especially since the 27th. It's just all chop, right? There's no clear direction. So I was kind of just gonna trade off what I saw on the lower time frames, because I didn't really see a higher time frame narrative. So it wasn't super clear to me. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna force any setups. If there wasn't one, I wasn't gonna take one, because it's much easier to trade when there's a clear narrative on what the market is most likely to do in that trading day. So I just had to be a bit more careful going into today. Obviously I was more bullish than I was bearish, but just because of this big bullish sentiment going up, and we're still kind of holding that. You could just look at this over here as a liquidity sweep rather than a market structure shift, because we did get a push higher after, and we did wick a new high. It wasn't a candle closure, but we did technically make a new high. So I was pretty bullish on the day. Also, knowing that I was somewhat bullish on the 3rd, we had this major liquidity sweep while tapping into this daily gap. So for me, that's okay. We've swept sell side. We're probably gonna head to buy side now. So anyways, we'll scale down to the 4 hour here. I'll show you guys what I was thinking. Sorry, all this stuff here, I don't want to get rid of it because it's gonna make sense as I scale down, but it's just a little messy right now. But anyways, yeah, so as you can see, this daily fair value gap got held twice, actually I guess 4 times here. So but we also had this 4 hour gap, which was one of my main confluences going into today. Reason being was my model that I like to trade is basically continuations. So rather than like a 2022 ICT model where you're trading reversals, the liquidity sweep is more of a continuation for me, right? And the thing that makes it an A+ setup is when the liquidity sweep taps into a high time frame PD array, in which this case it did. As you guys can see, this 4 hour gap, this new week candle, it took out these lows over here from the 5th of February while also tapping into the 4 hour. So to me, that was a pretty bullish sign. So at that point, I'm sort of, okay, I'm looking for longs most likely. The only thing that would sort of conflict with that is this 4 hour gap you guys can see right here where my cursor is, and here, which we did trade inside of. So I was kind of watching for that the whole time, just in case the market was gonna, I don't know, reject off of it or just react to it. So I wanted to be careful. But other than that, there's not much else on the 4 hour that was super noticeable to me. We did have these levels of liquidity that I had marked out, and then that was pretty much about it for the 4 hour. So we can go ahead and scale down to the 1 hour now. As you guys can see, we had this high, which I don't believe is this. Yeah, this. Wait, was it this? Yeah, okay, never mind. But yeah, so going down into the 1 hour, basically not much different here. We do have this 1 hour gap, which I believe sort of overlapped with the 4 hour. I'm not even too sure. I wasn't even too worried about that, but I know I did keep that in mind as I was trading today, because this uh the bottom of this hourly was close. I believe it was the end of my target, if I'm correct. We'll pull up the execution after, and we'll double check. But I believe, yeah, I think I can see my trade there. But we'll double check just to make sure. So I'll mark this out, the 1 hour fair value gap. I'd gotten rid of it because it was just getting messy on my chart. But other than that, again, 1 hour, like, we really don't have much here to look at. We had this strong manipulation candle, so price might want to come up and rebalance this overextended area. So that's just something to watch for too. Sorry, this thing's fucking annoying, dude. And then yeah, scaled down into the 15-minute. I don't really look at the 30-minute that much. Neither I never look at the 45-minute. Maybe the 30-minute sometimes, but not that much. Pre-market, we traded off this 5-minute gap, which was held multiple times 2 days ago. So on the 9th, or no, that was yesterday. So this 5-minute gap was held twice, and then going into this morning, it was held 3 times again. So that was a pretty prevalent 5-minute gap, but we traded way out of it. So, but it's just a sign that we were bullish. We were trading off of this nicely, and we were respecting it. And then we also paired that with the London lows that ended up forming, which were down here, which at the beginning I was sort of thinking, okay, maybe we come down and take out London lows. But I wasn't too sure yet. I think originally I was actually going to take shorts. I'll show you guys why. If I scale down here to the 5-minute, I was going to use this here, where my cursor is, as the shift in market structure. And then if we had respected this 5-minute gap to the downside, then I was going to enter and target these London lows. But we inversed it, so that's what gave me my bias to take a long. So I think that's super important too. Like, I think it's so important that people trade what they see as the market moves throughout the day, rather than having a bias in the morning and sticking with that bias. Although it can be a good thing, I feel like I've gotten stopped out too many times focusing on my one and only bias. I feel like you kind of have to adjust it as the day goes, you know? So you just have to adapt to what the market does and what you see. So instead of a shift in market structure, we saw this as our liquidity sweep, which is perfect for my my model, because it's more of a continuation now. We want to continue to the upside, but in order to get more momentum to the upside, we needed to take out all this liquidity. Now, I could have very well caught a trade to the downside here, early up here, but I believe I was still doing my high time frame analysis when this was happening right here, and I was like, oh, I should have took that. I didn't. It is what it is. So, but that just shows you, like, there's so many setups in a day. You don't have to take the first one you see. So, and I was getting a little bit of FOMO. Like, I wanted to catch this move, because I thought at this point, when we were all the way on this candle, I thought we were gonna hit London lows. We ended up not. So, yeah. So this liquidity sweep also formed an SMT between NQ and ES. It was a bullish SMT. So again, that's confirming my changing bias as I go. This 5-minute inverse fair value gap, I wanted to see tapped into on the 1 minute, so inversed on the 5-minute, and then tap back into on the 1 minute, which we got perfectly. I was so close to entering here. I was hovering the buy market button. The only reason I didn't was because I thought maybe we would trade off this 5-minute gap at the time and head lower again, and then potentially come and take out these London lows, but we inversed it. So to me, that was more than enough confirmation that we would continue to the upside. So I scaled down into the 1 minute here, and I'll show you guys the exact execution. So yeah, so I was really close to entering on this candle here, and like the trade would have worked out, but there's probably more times that I would have got stopped out if I took a similar setup instead of waiting for an extra confluence. Even if it means you're missing out on a bit of profit, it's better because it's increasing your win rate. So I wasn't upset about it. But anyways, we inversed this on the 1 minute. We retraced pretty much off the consequent encroachment, and we tapped into this 1 minute on this next candle here. So once we got a candle closure out here, I was more than bullish to enter. I targeted these highs, tapping into the 1 hour. I didn't want to set my TP any higher into this 1 hour because I felt like we were gonna respect the 1 hour, which we did. So that was pretty normal thing to do. I mean, you don't want to trade going deep into a high time frame PD race. So that was what my risk looked like. It was a perfect 2-to-1. I was super happy with it, and as you can see, I hit TP in literally 3 minutes. I barely had time to set my take profit because now I have to use Tradevate to set my stop loss and take profit. It takes a bit longer. I have to do it on my laptop here, and then I'm watching the charts on my PC. It's a bit of a process. So I almost didn't even get time to set my TP. It was that quick. But yeah, that was that. That was the whole trade. I'll go ahead and pull up the execution for you guys, and I probably won't bother covering all this stuff I did later, but I'm sure you guys can see I was just looking. There was a market maker buy model that presented itself, so it was just pretty cool to see it. I'm kind of like a nerd for this stuff. But yeah, that was that. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the execution here. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm in there. I gotta set my TP real quick. Damn, we just edged our TP. Almost there, we just need one final push. Come on. There we go. Alright. What are we up on the day? Let's see. 345 and 345. Alright, so we made $690 today. Alright guys, that's just gonna wrap the video up. That took me way longer than it should have to edit. It's been at least 3 hours. I don't know how. I was just too lazy to go on my PC and fucking get the execution and then transfer it to my laptop. It was harder than it should have been, but yeah, so I will see you guys Tuesday. There was one video I didn't upload. I'm just trying to be transparent here. There was one video I didn't upload, which was a loss. That's why you guys might be wondering, like, maybe why the balance was a bit weird on my accounts. I think it was $200 on each account, 240, something like that. So I think it was like somewhere around $450 loss on I believe it was Wednesday last week, and then I didn't trade Thursday and Friday. I just woke up too late, but so far we're trading almost already more than January, so super happy about that. And hopefully we can do this whole week at least waking up to trade, not per se taking a trade every day of the week, but still waking up and trading. So yeah, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys have any feedback for me in the comments, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know too. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow morning, Tuesday, and hopefully I will get the video out sooner. I think I'm going to continue doing these sort of like trade recaps rather than live day trading. These are just much easier to make. I feel like I can go a bit more in depth, because when I'm in the moment, I feel like most of my analysis just goes on in my head. Like I do draw the boxes on, but it's so much of a chore to explain it while I'm doing it. I'm trying to just focus in and do my analysis at the time. So yeah, but I will see you guys tomorrow morning, Tuesday. So see you then.